Yes, not retail.
Okay, so this is going to be I wish you luck, really. Wow, that's great.
Thank you. Yeah, we were very interested in joining this workshop just because technology is a big thing, especially retail front of the line at a coffee shop, and especially since we have the co-working space on the back, professionals working on technology as well. So we're trying to find the best solutions for that when we open.
And why did you choose that combination? I think it's great, but I think it's great with co-working and the coffee shop.
Yes, sure. I'll be happy to share a little bit about that. We were analyzing a little bit we knew it had to be around coffee. We were just analyzing the business model and the ways we could just get some revenue. And we thought about combining it with another business, and the only one we saw that fitted well was the co-working, just because coffee has a social side, which could be the public coffee shop, and then it has a professional side, which more people look into networking, private side. That's why we created the back for the co-working space.
And how do you think you're going to be different from those other co-working spaces? Because in Coral Gables and just around here in South Miami, there's so many of those. How are you going to differentiate yourself?
Yeah, great question. I think we have two things in mind. The first one, this is going to be way more private. Bureau, WeWork, and other co-working spaces in Coral Gables, they're great. They're just huge, and I think they target different kind of people. People that want to have these bigger activities, and they own 1, 2, 3 floors with so many offices. This is going to be a private space only with 8 people. We have only with 8 offices, and each office you can fit 2 or 3 people. Yes, we have a conference room. Yes, we have a phone booth. But just because of that private end, that's going to be kind of our first differentiator. And the second one, just to keep it short, I think having the coffee shop literally across the hallway just gives it a different different vibe just to the business. It adds on to the services that the business that rent the offices can have. Just having a coffee shop across the hallway.
And I have one more question for you. You're a great sport. We didn't rehearse this, did we? So it's good.
I know.
So it looks like this looks like a spontaneous talk. But
I'm very happy I got to unmute myself and chat.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. What I wanted to do in the future is highlight companies and show really what works for them. And then you can even help each other in companies. What it is I think this should be a Coral Gables business community, that each company, besides just the networking that we can think about, of being on LinkedIn or getting someone to follow me on Twitter, but basically sharing what is working for us together, in terms of technology. That's what I want to see, is more of a sense there. And in this case, what you're doing, let me just ask one more question about your co-working space. Are you going to differentiate that? Is there a certain type of people that you're looking for, or industry, or anyone from any field you want to set there?
I'm glad you're bringing this up, because in the beginning, we were thinking about selecting only one industry just to kind of differentiate ourselves. And then we went back to what we really wanted to do, which is help our community and help other businesses. So we decided not to focus on a specific one, basically just focus on our local businesses. So that brings back to what you were talking about of, collaborating and talking to other businesses and networks. We'll be happy to host some kind of events and
it has to be, you can even be, that's where it has to be, because you're bricks and mortar, and you need to even have those events. If you have some space there, bring in certain groups there. And what I think is important is also do that hybrid approach, where you can have that event, but also broadcast that out and stream it to that you can get a grouping here. And then you can even set up a calendar. You can even do like a Zoom night, or you can do one where you're broadcasting. I don't know if everyone realizes, but when you're on Zoom, you can broadcast to Facebook Live, and you can broadcast directly to YouTube Live. So you can even have a Zoom, plus you're going to broadcast live, and then start thinking about different ways that you can reach customers. If you want to have a place, and that's why the coffee is good, that you're making some revenue on the coffee end. When they buy your coffee at the beginning, you can give out some things, but they can kind of hang out at your coffee place, your coffee shop, and it can be like a hangout, but then you can get business advice. And then you can get a number of different people, professionals to come in. So you can get the accounting people to come and talk about small businesses. What do I need to do with digital? You can get those people, marketing people, social media people, to think about marketing, and have a group of people helping not only your group of people within your space, but the things that they do, they can even put on webinars. And that's what needs to be set up there. Is you got a great idea with the coffee shop, hang out and grow our businesses.
For sure. No, and I love it. I'm basically just writing it down and taking notes. We kind of started doing it. We have a online incentive. It's this initiative called Coffee with Founders, where we meet online once a week with a business owner, local, and just get them to talk about their story, why they do what they do, things that have gone well, things that haven't really gone very well, advices that they have for other entrepreneurs in the area. So we're doing that. We're posting those interviews online, but you're giving me a great idea of bringing that.
You need to bring those people in. You need to make those you need to make that connection. That I got a great hangout for you. Rather than coming to my house, come to my coffee shop, where I'll have professionals there, and you can even have once a week. You can even have a certain number of days a week. They're going to be professional talks where you can get one-on-one help. Plus, you're going to be broadcasting. So people, if you can't make it tonight, you'll make it next time. And then there's a sense of community. And let me just bring out one thing to everyone, is I've invited my best students to join us here. We talk about this every week in my classes. And what I've done in the past with Coral Gables is my classes, they do projects. And one of the projects, they come up with their own business ideas, but I tell them, don't give me these cockamamie ideas. You're going to be the next Uber, you're going to be the next Amazon. You're not in my class, but come up with some ideas of what you can do. And a lot of them are like social media. A lot of them have come up with companies for social media, for being interns, matching interns to businesses. So what we want, and we'll see, is we'll try to find the best companies for the fit and have some of our students be interns and help companies, especially with their technology. Or a lot of our students are business students, so they know some things about spreadsheets, about accounting, finance, so we can work together as a team. And that's what I think. And I appreciate you coming up and sharing and reach out to us. You know, we when you have the grand opening, we'll come. When is it?
Sure. Thank you so much. Thanks for letting me talk and share a little bit about
no, but that's what it is. And then and I mentioned to Ramona Belkis, what I've done in the past is on Fridays at we used to do from 4 to 5, right, Ramona? We used to have tech chat with Dr. Rush, and we used to come up with different ideas. When Coral Gables IT had some issues, we talk about backup, we talk about security, we're talking about we'll look at a number of different products. So we'll continue doing the tech chat, and then we can continue this process. But let us know in our response of what you want us to see, especially in these next 2 sessions, what you'd like us to focus in on.
I will send some feedback. Thank you very much, guys.
Pleasure. Okay.
And if you have any issues, if you need help going through the permitting system, because it's your first time in Coral Gables, definitely reach out to our department. It's business@coralgables.com, and we can help you through that process. Anything you need, just reach out.
That's
I will
fantastic.
I will for sure, because that has been a headache. So thank you.
Wow, and it's great to get the connection, you know? We're all online all the time, and I still think, that personal connection that's what we yearn so much. And that what makes life so wonderful, is to have that. So thanks a lot. So
For sure. Thank you. If you can send that email on the chat, I just couldn't catch it. Thank you very much. I'm gonna mute myself and I'll let you talk.
Dr. Rush, I believe I have Jill also on, that has been promoted to panelist. I believe this is Jill Portnick, who is the owner of Jay's Jewelers.
Great.
Jill
Wonderful. Jill.
Hi, how are you?
Fine. I heard so much about you. Jill.
Oh, wonderful.
The question is why don't I see my faces here? I don't see my video. What happened to my video?
So just so you know, Jill is she is the owner of Jay's Jewelers on Miracle Mile. How long have you guys been in business, Jill?
This is our 76th year of business.
And what is your business called?
Jay's Jewelers. We're a fine jewelry store at 237 Miracle Mile, and we carry all different types of fine jewelry, new, designer, custom, vintage, and antique. And we have a full custom workshop and repair shop here on site.
Wow. And so what have you been doing with social media?
So we post to Facebook and Instagram 5 days a week.
5 days a week, right?
Yes. I schedule everything ahead of time using later.com. And what it does is it duplicates the same post to both Instagram and Facebook at our optimal time for each day of the week that we're open.
Mm-hmm. Great. And so do you have a certain, do you use Facebook Live at all?
We used it a little bit during the pandemic for a flash sale while we were closed. But believe it or not, we've been so busy during our normal open hours that we don't have time to do any lives at the moment.
Uh-huh. So, and how much business does this bring you by doing every day all your posts in social media? What would you say?
It's difficult to gauge, but our social media, our online sales increased significantly this past year.
Wow, great. And you have a following, or you chat with them? Tell me, kind of give me a sense of how, are you the only one that's involved in it, Jill? Or you have other people that help you with your social media?
For the social media, I do it all myself. We did just hire an external marketing consultant to help us with some Facebook and Instagram ads, which I found to be very unfriendly for the layman.
Okay,
so
good.
she's going to help using our marketing materials, develop and target properly those ads to bring people into our store.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So that's wonderful. So what would you, let me ask you, Jill, now that you've been in business, where do you need, where are your challenges? Where do you need help?
So we would like to continue expanding our e-commerce. We've had an e-commerce site for over 5 years now, and we're seeing a lot of growth in that area. And especially in higher value items, there's a little bit of a question at the beginning: will people be willing to spend thousands of dollars online? And believe it or not, we've found that to be, as long as you have your reviews showing, as long as.
Are you on a phone now, or you are on a computer? What are you on now?
I'm on a computer.
Okay, I'm wondering, Alex, can you share your website with us where people would order it? I'm just curious to see what it looks like. Would you be willing to do that, Jill?
I don't think I have access to, but it's jaysjewelers.com, JAESJEWELERS.com.
Okay, can you maybe, Belkis, are you Belky there? Where did I lose all my people here? Yeah, maybe Belkis, you can bring it up so we get a sense of what you're doing.
Yeah, so the general public just wants to know that they can trust you. So there's
I know,
things.
it's like again, Jill, it's like we rehearsed it. It's all about trust.
Right.
And when you're
So-
online, that's the difficulty. I see Jill, what do I know about Jill or Jay Jewelers, or it's absconding with my money. That's all I know.
So
Right.
when the pandemic hit last March, I found it very important to have someone that our visitors could communicate with. So we researched in the technology and invested in a company that developed a website chat. So if anybody goes to our website, in the bottom right corner or the bottom left corner, you see that little chat box. They can click on that and ask
Click
a
on it,
question
yeah.
at any time. That will immediately text all of our associates' cell phones and come in and out through our business landline.
Beautiful.
So-
That's awesome. You know what else I really like about put a comment here. Can we put a name here? Put your names, Belkis. Maybe you can get in some nice jewelry, but also that we're online here. But Jill, I like the idea that you show your faces with masks on your website, because it, again, eludes trust.
Yeah, you want to
Well-
show that you're open for business and you're taking precautions and you're still here to help.
And now if I wanted, I would then go into our store. If I wanted to buy something on your website, where would I go?
So you have the option of jewelry, watches, engagement.
From all of those places, I could buy right on your site, or I'm just going to see it.
Yes, you can buy right on the site. We've got thousands of products listed. We
Okay, can
update
you
on
just
a daily basis.
So where do you think we should go, just for a second, so everybody can see that?
You could click
Oh,
jewelry.
Belkis, you want to share your screen just one more time? I just wanted to get a sense of what her e-commerce looked like.
Yes, I was sharing it. Hold on, I don't know what happened, but here we go. Do you see it now?
No, but it's okay.
How about now?
Yeah, I'm going to see. Yes. Now, where should we go, Jill?
I've already clicked on earrings. I'm shopping already.
Okay, you
Sorry.
3,002. Okay, great. So you could buy this now, ships on next year. Okay, and people actually are trusting you, Jill.
Yes.
It's still there?
Yes, because it sources from our Google, Facebook, and Yelp reviews. We also invested in a similar technology that we send a request to every happy customer right as they leave the store, so they can leave us an online review. And I cannot tell you, I think that has garnered the most amount of foot traffic over the past year. Everybody we ask, is this your first time in the store? They say yes. We go, how did you find out about us? And they go, you had the best Google reviews.
Wow, so you do Google reviews. And how much are you paying for? And when people want to search, how do they find you?
They just
You
type
think-
in jewelry store, Miami, Coral Gables, or they,
And how do you fare when people type in jewelry store Coral Gables?
we have the most reviews of any of the jewelry stores in the area, I believe, and probably and one of the highest ratings. So
Wow, great.
in general, Google tends to favor those who are consistently working on their Google account and keeping things up to date.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. So right now, and do you do all the fulfillment? You do all the shipping? You have somebody in your store that takes care of that?
Yes, I do that all myself.
You did it all yourself. You're a one woman band.
Yeah, my team they're down on the sales floor right now helping the customers, and I do that as well, but mostly a lot of the back end work.
And then basically this extends your hours 24/7. So what are you looking for? Would it help you in terms of interns? Would it help you in terms of getting more in social media? Where do you think your bottleneck is that we maybe, or in the future sessions, what should we
The reason why I love Comment Sold so much is because it takes those customers that already are your clients and reminds them that you still exist. So you can reach out to them. You've already broken down the barrier of trust, and you're just reaching out to them more consistently. So with the Comment Sold app and features that they have, because I've done a little research on my end as well, it just seems like you've got this. It's like fishing in a barrel instead of fishing in the ocean.
And how do you got a question here from Olga, and she's asking, how does she get her customers to give a review?
So you can email them or text them a link to your Google business page, and every single business should claim their Google listing, because just by doing that and keeping your Google listing up to date, Google will will give you a preferred listing on their search pages.
Okay, and I think Olga, and maybe you can chime in, Olga, if you don't mind being unmuted, is how do you convince them? So let's say I'm your customer. How do you convince, or Belky, she just bought those earrings, right? How do you convince her to write a review? Because people are kind of reticent about writing reviews.
You know, believe it or not, people have been more receptive to it, especially now with the promotion of small business. You say, thank you so much. We really hope you enjoyed your experience today. It would mean the world to me if you left a review. Just click this link.
And you give them the link. That's the beauty. They don't have to do a lot. You give them the link.
Exactly. You have to break down all the barriers to make it as easy as possible for them. And that goes with the review as well as sales. So you don't just want to send them a picture. You want to send them directly to your website where they can click a button and buy the item.
Right. It's the same way. And what do you do on your Facebook? Like, what's your basic special today or yesterday? What was special about? What did you post?
So we do a combination of posts. Sometimes it's products that we have here in the store and we tag it so they can buy it directly on Facebook or Instagram from our online store catalog. Or it's an image that's generic of a popular piece of jewelry, or it's something going on in the industry, or talking about some of our services. So it's a nice variety, because you don't always want to sell. You have to give information and have people feel like they need to follow you because they might miss something worthwhile that's worth knowing or being in the know about.
Somebody was asking too, from our coffee shop, Grow, she was asking, what's the name of the software you purchased, Jill, to ask for those reviews? But you're not using any, what I understand, you're not using software to ask for the reviews, are you?
Yes, it is a software. It's an app called Client Book. There's also another one called Podium, and they both have that web chat and the texting and the review links. It's all integrated.
Right. So that would be really, I think, an awesome day of presentation, just talking about all the software that you're using. Can you just show us an example of your Facebook or your Instagram? You want to get into that, Belky? So how would she find it if she were going?
It would just be either facebook.com/Jay'sJewelers or instagram.com/Jay'sJewelers.
And what does better for you, Instagram or Jay's Jewel or Facebook? Or they're different?
They're not huge for us. I think you have different populations in each format. Instagram tends to be a younger population, where Facebook is our older clientele. And in Facebook, you can attach links and articles, where Instagram is just photographs.
So you're getting better revenues or potential sales in Facebook. Is that true over Instagram for you?
We haven't made any sales on either platform directly. We reroute them either into our store or to our website.
Okay, so they see you and then they come into your store.
Right.
And a year ago, how much of your sales now is online compared to a year ago?
I would say probably about tenfold.
Tenfold.
Yeah.
Wow, I give you credit, because that's the key is trust. And when I think about you, I passed by your store many times, and I would think, you know, that would be great to be there, but it's the idea of people are now trusting you with all those opportunities that you
Yeah,
have.
and one of the greatest things is, you know, looking at our client list, our top clients over the past year, a lot of them started out in Miami and have moved elsewhere. But because we
They know
have
you.
so
They
much
know you.
information, there are still, our top clients don't even live in the state anymore.
Yeah, that's the beauty. You have them already, but you've gotten already that personal connection with them. So they really have, again, coming down to that trust.
There's one
You know,
quick
later
question
on-
here.
Yeah.
One quick question. Have you had any customer asking to see any product via video or interactively through the mobile app?
Yes, you know, it's funny. I had a gentleman from India call once a day for the past 3 days because he saw a watch that we have online, and he wanted to get a couple more condition details. So I recorded a video and I uploaded into a Dropbox and sent him a link to the images and the pictures so he could see it in person.
Mm-hmm. But you've never tried to do it live, like go and say, hey, let me show you what the watch really looks like in the store. Let me turn it around. You've done the video part.
It's really difficult just because of how small and focused you have to get with these products.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and you don't have the time during the day. It's hard
Yeah,
to get
usually just between clients, you know,
in
we find the
between
time to
clients
do
to
those.
do it. But that's another one, you know, of almost bringing the clients into your store.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What about
Great,
challenges
great.
with sizing, for example, rings that have different sizes? So is there a way to do that online that you have tested?
So most self-purchasers know their ring size, so
Yeah.
all the ring purchases come with a free ring sizing, and they can indicate it at checkout, or they can purchase it, give it as a gift, and then the recipient brings it in and has their finger size.
Mhm.
And we also invested this year in disposable ring sizers so people can take them home and then let us know their finger size
Great idea.
if they're not comfortable leaving the house.
And there was one more question from Olga. When do you give them the link? Does it pop up after they purchase the item?
So the link would be something we would, we text them automatically as either when we're wrapping their present or after they leave the store.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Jill.
Yeah, I think this is, you know, we have to embrace the technology that's available. And for any small business, I definitely recommend it because it may sound like a monthly commitment that you're not sure about, but once you see the revenue that comes in, it definitely justifies it.
Yeah, no, that's great. You know, later on, Jill, you can be like Amazon. You know, Amazon, their most profitable subsidiary is Amazon Web Services in the cloud because they did it for themselves. Soon, Jill, you're so adept in doing the social media and selling for the jewelry store. You can sell that as a service as well to other small businesses.
No, just here to help.
So we got a little Amazon right here. Okay, so thanks a lot, Jill. I so appreciate it, and anything that you can reach out. And I think that's a great segue to talk about with Heidi. Is there anything else that we need to talk about, Belkis?
So thank you, Jill. Jill is also right now the president of the Business Improvement District. She is really in tune with the marketing that needs to happen in the downtown. So we're fortunate to have her, and she is a great supporter of the city too. So thank you for doing this and for coming and sharing your story with us, because I would assume that jewelry is not an easy thing to see or to sell because you want to touch it and feel it, but you've been able to get past that. So congratulations. I also wanted to share, Dr. Russian, if we haven't given the results of the last survey,
yeah, please.
Make sure that we post that, and then we can go straight to comments sold.
Yeah, so can you post that? So what do we got here? So what type of businesses do you own? Okay, so retail's 18, professional services, it's interesting, 45%. There's healthcare and 27% consulting, and then other. I'm just curious, those in professional services, I heard about healthcare. Is there any others that somebody wants to put in the chat? And if anybody wants to put in the chat for their professional, I guess. And then what was the other one? And then also consulting. What type of consulting are we talking about? Consulting was what percentage?
Consulting is 27%.
Okay, so consulting was 27%. So you can see how it goes as well. And again, it's almost that you can think about the retail. It depends on what retail you're going to do and how you're going to reach your customers. Who are your types of customers versus professional services as well. Oh, and then one of those, Olga was saying, was clear the clutter. I'm an organizer. Okay. Wow. Do I need you, Olga? You'd have she'd be, if she came to my house, it would be ongoing. Let me tell you how much wires and computers I have. Really. Okay. That's a great idea. So we'll speak about it, but getting that out. Okay, great.
Dr. And maybe perhaps as we introduce Comment Sold, if we could also put up the next poll, because it gives us a perspective on what if you're online, which is here we go, online presence.
Okay, so this, just to give us a sense here, is do you have an online business presence? And then we have multiple choice. Of course, if you have many of you have the website, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, other, and no, I don't have an online presence. So if you can just take that quickly for us.
Yep, and just to remind people that Comment Sold really is it works best with a shoppable website, possibly Shopify, Facebook. If you haven't used that function of going live to sell, think of it as a QVC or a home shopping network, so you can display and talk about your items. Instagram as well. So it would be great to get your feedback on that and see what you're doing. Okay, so you can see here, website comes out to be the highest. And what's interesting is they're still, you know, Raimundo, we were talking in Belkis, they're still significant of 56% on websites, Facebook 44, Instagram they seem to be, and then the Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn. LinkedIn's, it's interesting, also is quite high. And the difference here later on, if people are interested in it, we can also talk about that, the difference between LinkedIn personal versus LinkedIn for your business as well. Okay, and so we're ready. Close that off then. So the poll is closed, and those are the final results there. Website 56%, and then the second highest is also LinkedIn, which makes sense because we have a good amount of people from the professional services industry. Yeah, it makes sense with it. Okay, great. All right. So you want to do the introductions? Absolutely. Okay. So yes, so it's my pleasure to introduce Heidi Crabtree and Ben Pateski, both from Comment Sold. We appreciate Raimundo bringing us this company and really being able to showcase them and the great work that they're doing. And we really hope that this can be something that we can get our businesses in line with. So take it away, Heidi. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for the intro. Again, my name is Heidi. I'm an account executive here at Comment Sold. Very excited to go over our product, how it can help businesses. And if you have any questions while I go through this too, and Ben's going to help me as well if I can't see the chat, just put a question in the chat and I'll be more than happy to stop and answer them too at any time. So let me get my screen pulled up here. Oh, and it says host disabled participant screen sharing. Alex, can you give me permission?
Our good old Alex. Did you get it?
Yes, perfect.
Great.
Okay, so the first bit of information I want to go over is just a little background history of Comment Sold. It is our very first case study that I want to go over. It is a very empowering story, and it's one of the main reasons why I love working for Comment Sold is because it actually started based off of a need that another boutique owner had, and her name is Amanda Cruz. She's the current co-owner of Comment Sold. She started her own boutique back in 2014 called Discount Divas. Some of you may have already heard of them before. They're pretty prominent online boutique now, but she started out with just a basic Facebook business page and an e-commerce Shopify website. And she came to a challenge that a lot of companies have with e-commerce, in that she had a hard time actually getting her customers to go from the Facebook page to the website and actually check out. She lost a lot of traffic there, and she saw she had more success just directly selling off of Facebook and manually invoicing via PayPal afterwards. Less than a year after she started Discount Divas, she hit $30,000 a month in sales. At that point, the manual invoicing became a huge struggle point for her. She was actually a full-time RN, so it was just a lot of responsibility. She was handling a lot of the manual processes. She was dating Brandon Cruz at the time. Of course, they're now married, but he developed a software for Discount Divas March of 2016 to help her streamline her process. Less than a year after he developed the software for Discount Divas, they hit $100,000 a month in sales. And Brandon also helped them launch their mobile app. So at that point, they started thinking, wow, this software has really taken Discount Divas to the next level. It's really helped us streamline our process. This is something that other companies could benefit from as well. And that's when they decided to start Comment Sold March of 2017. These are the Divas numbers November of 2017, but today they do anywhere from 3 to 4 mil a month in sales, 80% of that which comes from the app. So it really took them from zero to hero is what I call it. This goes over just some statistics of Comment, so I won't get into it too much. Based off of that data, Comment Sold, we are a fairly newer e-commerce platform, but we're actually one of the fastest growing e-commerce platforms out there currently. We have over 3,000 stores that use Comment Sold as their primary social selling platform. It's really more like 14,000, but 3,000, they have us for their everything. They have our website, they have our app. This says we've done over 500 million in sales. Last month, we actually surpassed 1 billion. And we do usually consecutively add about 400 stores to the platform each month. So we're growing at a very, very rapid pace. And we're starting to see more and more companies use Comment Sold with their social selling, not just boutiques either. Obviously, that's where our original clientele base stemmed from. But now we have home decor companies, quilting companies, sporting good companies. Gosh, last month, we actually had a frozen meat company that's selling frozen meat via live sales, which I know is kind of crazy to think. But pretty much any company that wants to sell products to their consumers and get more of an expanded customer base have really been hopping on the bandwagon, especially with COVID going on. Everybody's seen there's a lot of companies that are really struggling. A lot of them have to close down. So they're kind of having to think outside the box. How can I still reach my customers with COVID going on? And they're going to social media because you can still reach them, especially on a live sale. You get more of a personal interaction with them. They're still seeing the product. They can look at it. They're talking to you still, so you still get that interaction. So like I said, a lot of them have really been hopping on the bandwagon and selling off of social media. Even if they still keep their brick and mortar stores, it's an extra channel to engage in and a good backup plan if things get worse. This talks about the urgency sale, and some of you have probably already seen a live sale. Some of you may have not yet. If you have watched the live sale, it is more of that urgency sale where the customer's like, oh, I got to get it, before I got to get it before someone else does, or that looks cute on her, I got to have it too. And it makes it simple and fun for the customer. They don't, have to go out of their home. They're just in their, home looking at the item. They still see what it looks like, how it fits. It makes it simple and fun for them, while Comment Sold handles a lot of the manual processes for you on the back end. The first feature that we're widely known for is our automatic invoicing, and that works for live sales, but also for still photo posts. I call it a still photo post. Some of you may or may have not seen it on Facebook before, but it's just a picture of a product that you're selling. This is kind of an example of what it looks like. You tell the customers what to comment. They're going to comment sold underneath it. As soon as they comment sold, it's going to send them a Facebook message and an email with a link to check out. So they're automatically invoiced. If you already sell on social media and you don't use comment sold, your process is probably just having to write all of their names down, asking them for the email addresses, invoicing them. So this saves the manual processes of that. Or say you're not selling on social media, but you do have a website. It's more of that urgency sale for them. It also builds off of those Facebook algorithms. So the more comments you have on a still photo post or a live sale, the way the Facebook algorithms work, it's going to push it up into more people's faces. And that's where a lot of companies will see a sales increase selling off of social media as well, versus just sending them to a website. You have more control over the sale when they're on Facebook with you. If they go to a website, no one else can see that, versus comment sold, they can. So it starts to build that customer base. Also works with Instagram. It's very similar to Facebook, except for we don't work with the live feature yet. With Instagram, it just works for the still photo post. A customer will comment sold, size, the color they want. Instead of getting a direct message like they do on Facebook, they receive an auto reply with Instagram. And this is just an example of what it looks like here. The customer comment sold, they receive this auto reply. They would then click on that link and it would take them straight to their cart, just like a website if they were checking out. The good thing with Instagram and Facebook is they both share the same inventory when it comes to comments sold, so there's no overselling between the different platforms. And then if they check out within the same time period, they have one transaction versus multiple, so it makes it an easier checkout process for them. As far as the checkout process, we also make the checkout process different than any other e-commerce platform out there currently. You can set cart expirations for your customers where it sets their expectations. Now you set the timer as far as how long you want to give them to pay for their invoice. But they may say, hey, if I don't pay this in 6 hours, it's going to go to the next person in line, because we have two waitlist features. The first one is just our regular waitlist feature through comment sold, where once you sell out of an item, anyone that comments sold on the item after it's sold out is automatically added to a wait list. If you're able to restock on that item, when you do restock, it'll notify them. At that point, they can still choose if they want it or not. The second waitlist feature, this is our most popular. It's called the pre-authorization waitlist feature. Now you have to use Stripe as a payment processor for this one, and I'll get into that with you in just a second. But it'll give the customer an option to be added to the top of that waiting list if they pre-authorize you to charge the card when the item comes in. So there's two pretty big benefits to that one. The first is, say one of your customers lets their card expire, it'll automatically take that item out of their cart and drop it into the first customer's cart that pre-authorized you to charge the card, so you don't miss out on as many abandoned sales. Second benefit is for reordering purposes. Say everyone does pay for their cards and you maybe still had 10 customers that had pre-authorized on that specific product that sold out. You can look at it and say, hey, if we reorder 10 of these, we have 10 guaranteed sales. So that alone really allows you to leave as less money on the table as possible when it comes to profiting. Also, you'll have the availability to encourage faster checkouts by offering 1 hour free shipping for your customers, where you'll tell them, hey, if you check out within an hour, you get free shipping. That drives them just to check out quicker, as well as free shipping within a 24-hour period to encourage buying streaks. So if the customer checks out, they pay for shipping on their first item, they go to purchase a second item, you can have the system set to waive that second shipping fee. Mystery items too. Some companies do this where the customer doesn't know what they're ordering. They just order this blue jean. It's just a special style that it's a mystery. They're not sure which style they're going to get it. You can offer free shipping on those items as well. This talks about our live sale overlay. This is also one of our most popular features. Through our live overlay is actually currently the only way that you can multi-stream live video sales on your Facebook business page, your Facebook group page, and the app at one time with one synced inventory. I'm going to close out of this and just give you a real-time example, because this just shows a picture here. It's not really the real-time interaction. So I'm going to go to Simply Obsessed with Sarah Gibbons, and you can also pull her Facebook page up anytime. It's a public business page. It's just Simply Obsessed. This is just an example.
We were all free.
And let me turn the audio off real quick. So this is the overlay bubble that comments sold provides. It's very similar to QVC. I'm sure a lot of you have seen QVC before. It has that little bubble overlay, tells the customers what to comment. Usually it shows a picture and price. She's chose not to show the picture and price here, but it usually will show a picture here. And of course it's got the price on this one. And then if there's different sizes or colors, it would show those here. And as the customers start to claim them, they're going to comment over here in the comments, but it's also going to mark them out as they sell out, just like QVC does.
Heidi, question. So the comments features will be present, right? So to the right of the screen, we will see what people are commenting. If they're saying, you know, I want a medium in blue, or I'd like to take this, you will see that list coming through.
Correct.
That can be disabled or no?
So on Facebook, it can't be disabled where they'll see their comments. Other customers will see who else is commenting on Facebook. This is the view from Facebook. And then this right here is actually the view that the company will see while they're live. So you'll see this in your comment sold account. And the thing I love about this feature here is not only does it show you the video of yourself live, it shows the item underneath it that you're currently showing. And it also updates you real time quantity wise. So you can update the customers and say, hey, you know, we don't have 2 of these left. You better hop on it. Also, it will color code the customer's comments. So first, it's going to show you where they're watching you from. This one says Facebook page. This one says app. And then underneath the customer's comments, it'll color code as far as what type of customer they are. This one says VIP. That's obviously someone who spends more money with the company. This one says new customer. So this is probably her first purchase. So it'll help you easily spot those customers out. So if you've done a live sale or seen one, you've probably noticed the comments do come through pretty quickly. So those help, you know, easily catch those. Yeah, but good question. And then also, like I said, it will give you the availability to sell on your Facebook business page, your Facebook group page, but also the app. I'm going to actually stop my share on my computer and pull my phone up and just show you what the app interface looks like.
I just wanted to make a comment that it's, just so you know, in terms of Zoom, Heidi, you just logged into Zoom here and had your phone as another participant, right, Heidi?
Yes. Yep.
So that's nice for people to know as well, is that when you want to showcase your phone on a call, even like Zoom, you don't have to turn it around and show it to the camera. You just log in with your phone, and then you're basically logging in twice, one with your phone and one with your computer. Just wanted to make that clear. Great.
Yeah.
So what would you like to show us?
Yeah, definitely. So that makes it so much easier. So I'm just going to pull up So Happy Boutique. And again, you can actually go to your app store, type in So Happy and see them as an example. Same for Simply Obsessed. So this is the app. You would have your own app with comments sold that you would work back and forth with our app developers as far as how you want to have it laid out. Very similar to a website, except for just the app on their phone. They can scroll through here and shop any of the products this way. Or if you notice on the top here, they've got denim. Say I just want to shop denim. I'm going to click on the denim. I'm going to go through, choose which ones, or say I want to only shop for tops. Just click on the tops, or say I'm looking for a specific brand. So I'm just going to type in Judy Blue because I love Judy Blue jeans. And then it will only pull up Judy Blue jeans. Also on the top, you'll notice that it has special deals that companies can promote to get their customers to check out, especially 20% off with your first app order. That's crucial when you first launch the app because you want to get your customers from Facebook over to the app to start shopping through the app. That's the huge benefit to the app is because Facebook, and some of you who sell on Facebook may have already experienced issues with Facebook. Unfortunately, they have made it a little hard for businesses where they don't always notify customers when you're live or when you post new products. The app does. As soon as you go live or post new products, it goes straight to the customer's phone like a notification. So it's really good for engagement. This here, I'm going to go to one of their lives, and these are the live sales. You also can watch any of the previous live sales right here that the company has done. I'm going to just show the most recent one. Now, the only thing I've noticed with just sharing this thing is it will not let me turn the volume down on it. So I'm not going to try to talk over her as she's doing it, but there's a little shop button on here that the customer will click on, and it'll show all the products that they previously showed as well as the current product that she's showing. So that's also another benefit to selling through the app is the customer does not have to comment sold. They just click that shop tab, select their size color, and it automatically adds it. It's a lot quicker.
All right, I'm clicking it. Clicked it.
And if my Wi-Fi will cooperate with me, I'm sorry, guys.
I always like work a little bit from home, but at least I won't be on a camera, so I get a little bit of a break.
Tina, Jermaine.
Tina was last night too. Holy crap! So you guys are gonna get a really, really good, comfortable fit. It has a good amount of support, maybe not.
Okay, so you can kind of see what it looks like, kind of what that live sale. It's a lot easier interface. They don't have to worry about commenting sold. You can shop anytime, and it's a really good way to keep your customers engaged. So I'm going to go off that screen and then pull my computer back up here real quick. Also, another huge benefit to using the overlay, and a lot of companies who have seen a comment so live may have already noticed this, but through our overlay is actually currently the only way that it streams at a high definition quality picture. So it streams at a 1080 picture versus Facebook. I think Facebook is currently only streaming at like a 380. So it's going to show more truer colors of items that you're showing as well. So Jill, notice your story with Jay's Jewelers as far as with your jewelry. It's going to show more of a truer color than like a regular Facebook Live. So it's going to be an easier sell for you than just off of the website, off of those pictures. This talks about the availability to sell across all multi-channels. So we do offer a website with comments sold, the availability to sell on that mobile app, Instagram, and Facebook. Through all those multi-channels, there is no overselling. You have a complete control of your brand and inventory. We also do have other options, though. I know Belkey stated we do integrate with Shopify, which is another larger e-commerce platform. If you do already have Shopify, it's going to be a really easy transition for you into using comments sold. It just hooks up to comments sold. Any existing inventory that you already have entered in Shopify will transfer over into comments sold. And there also is no overselling between the different platforms. If you sell something off of Shopify, it automatically takes it out of comments sold. If you sell something off of a comments sold live sale, it's automatically going to take it out of Shopify. Shopify also does have a POS system. So this is why I have this retailer location here. That way, if someone comes into the store, it's going to take it out of Shopify and then, of course, take it out of comments sold as well. If you also do have a different POS system like Square or Lightspeed or Clover, Shopify does also integrate with a lot of those POS systems. So there's still that possibility for you to hook up your POS to Shopify, and then Shopify will hook that up to comments sold as well. And I'll break each one of these down for you individually, but for invoicing and payments, like I said earlier, as soon as your customer comments sold, they're sent that Facebook message and an email with the link to check out. When they go to checkout, you choose between 3 different credit card processors that will process the credit card transaction and deposit into your account, and they are Stripe, PayPal, or Square. I will tell you, Stripe is the most popular payment processor that I've seen used. I do believe it is because of that pre-authorization waitlist feature that I told you about earlier. But they also do offer an additional feature that's called comment charge. That's also very popular. The customer has to pre-authorize for this ahead of time, but it basically allows them to bypass the entire checkout process. As soon as they comment sold, it automatically charges their card. So they don't have to worry about clicking on that link to go put in their credit card info. It's already entered into the system. They just comment sold and it charges their card. But you can choose between any of these 3, Stripe, PayPal, Square. Sezzle is another big payment processor that you can provide in addition to whichever one you choose. With Jill, she mentioned her products are higher priced. So Sezzle allows the customer to break up their cart into multiple installments. So if it's a higher price item, it's going to be an easier sell for you, as well as customers usually will spend more money when they check out with Sezzle. Shipping, so we also handle shipping for you. It's a very automated, seamless fulfillment process where once your customer pays for their order, it's going to transfer their shipping information over. You can print out your shipping label, stick the item in the poly mailer or flat rate mailing box, whatever you're going to ship it in, and it's ready to go. Once you mark it as fulfilled, it'll also send out an automated tracking email to the customer so they can track the package as far as where it's at, where it's located, when it's going to be, when it's going to actually go to their door. Also have the option to offer local pickup. So if the customer pays for their order, they want to, pick it up locally, they can choose local pickup instead of having it shipped to them. And there's 3 options for shipping. You can either ship straight through Comment Sold, it's just the regular post office commercial rates, or you can ship through ShipStation or Go Shippo. They do charge a monthly fee, but you get more of a discounted rate than the regular USPS post office rates, as well as you can also use FedEx and UPS as well.
Heidi, question on that. This is everything that you've talked about so far is included, right, in the licenses that we're offering our businesses?
Yes, definitely. Yep. Yeah, good question. All of this will be included in that. Set it and forget it marketing tools. So we also have a few marketing tools that will help you improve your sales and retention without you really having to lift a finger. The first one is our marketing email automation program. And what that does is it's going to send out mass emails based on your customers' engagements. This is a list of them here. First purchase discounts, that's a pretty popular one. An example of that would be you may have someone that registers to shop with you through Comment Sold. They may have watched a few of your live sales, but they haven't officially made a purchase. You can have them sent an email with a coupon code to try to reel the customer in to convert them to a customer. Discount to win back for inactive customers, that's also another successful one. You may have some customers that haven't purchased from you in the past 30 days. It'll also send them an email with a coupon code to try to reel them back in. So this helps boost engagement in the customer base and keep them engaged. Second marketing tool we offer is called secondary offer. This is an example of it over here to the right that says save 40%. What this does is when the customer goes to check out, it's going to pop up an option for them to add more items to their account. So it's a good way to upsell. And it's a good way to clear out any clearance items that you're having a hard time getting rid of, because you can do special promotional pricing on them, or you can choose to do regular priced items. But because Comment Sold has AI analytics, it will actually study your customer shopping patterns. So it's going to offer them something they normally would order versus something they normally would not order, which is good. Comment Sold, we also have a really good reporting system. So depending on what information you input in about a product, obviously the more info you put in, the more tracking capabilities you're going to have. But for example, if you put your cost of goods, which is your wholesale price, if you put your retail price, you can calculate what your profits are. If you put brand information in there, you can review reverse logistics to stop over and underselling on certain items. Also, you can pinpoint your power hours that drive business. So you can look at the data and you know, to see what days and times are better for your live sales. You may look at it and say, hey, it looks like Thursdays and Fridays are better nights for live sales. Maybe that's because people get paid at the end of the week. Or no, it actually looks like Tuesdays are better. Maybe that's because people aren't out doing as many things. Be compliant and lower your audit risk. So we also provide Avalara, which automatically totals out your customer sales taxes when they check out. And it'll base it off of your local state tax guidelines for online sales. I know some states say you have to base it off of where the company is located. Some say you have to base it off where the customer is located. So it just keeps you compliant with what you're supposed to charge. Drive growth with employer reports. I don't know if any of you have different employees that do different things for you, but you also do have the availability within Comment Sold to assign different usernames and passwords and give them different permission to do different things while they're in the system. So you may just give someone permission to go in there and only do shipping for you, or someone permission to go in there and add products. It also will track what they're doing while they're in the system. But it is a really good reporting system. Even off of what inventory you have entered in, it'll also forecast your possible future revenue on a weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly basis. So it's a really good system if you want to set goals for yourself and then go back and review to see how far you've come.
So Heidi, we have a question here on how do you prevent, from Jill, how do you prevent fraudulent charges? Is there a chargeback protection software?
Good question. Yeah, very good question. So because we use PayPal, Square, and Stripe, that's why we have chosen them to be our payment processors. They do have a chargeback policy. They are really good when it comes to privacy, as far as there's not going to be any information released about the customer, that's going through the system. So those are very trustworthy payment processors, PayPal, Square, and Stripe.
Heidi, there's another question came through the chat. It says, can you stream live video as you talk to customers from the vendor's phone? So if you use your phone as your live component, your live camera.
Yeah, definitely. So how it works is, and we will totally train you on this, which brings me to my next slide as far as the support you get. So you'll download a CommentSold broadcast app on your phone. It's actually going to record the video and the audio. And you also will have a computer pulled up, either a regular computer or a laptop, that you'll run that live sale that will actually show this slide back here that showed the talent view. Right here, the computer will actually show this, but your phone will be live. And so you will be able to use the phone for the live still, actually the recording of it. Good question. Were there any other questions that I missed?
I just would like to make a comment on the prevention of fraud. Is that previously we have shared in previous workshops important information about cybersecurity. So it's a good recommendation to all the businesses to have a best practices in cybersecurity in their computers that they use for point of sale, in the computer that they use to connect to the customers. So later we are going to be sharing some resources that we have provided to the businesses. So you can follow minimum basic steps to protect the information of your customers and your business.
Yeah, that's a great point. Thanks, Ramona. So this talks about our support. And I know Belkis had mentioned it earlier that you will have comments on, you have myself and Ben. We're there for the first 30 days. You'll have our phone number, our email, as well as you get complete onboarding services. You're also assigned an onboarding rep. They're basically your IT rep. And you will have multiple training calls via Zoom, like we're doing now, where they will share their screen with you and show you the ins and outs of the system, just to get you ready for your first sale with CommentSold. And I've even seen them tune into first live sales of companies as well. So you're definitely set up for success in that way for sure with training when it comes to CommentSold. And I will share this presentation doc with Belkis, and she can forward it to anyone that needs it. On the back, there is a list of some of our other case studies that I was telling you about earlier. So these are other companies that have seen similar growth as Discount Divas. Simply Obsessed, that's who I pulled up as an example for a live. But I wasn't able to actually get a company on the line with us to give their testimonial, but we do have a video from Paisley Hart. She's actually one of our first customers. She started out all online, and actually she's still all online, but she wanted to give an option for customers to be able to shop from their homes without having to go to the store and still get that personal connection. So I'm just going to play this for you and let you hear her testimony.
My name is Brooke Howerton. I started the Paisley Heart with just a dream that I could create a place where women could feel like they're shopping without leaving their home. Actually started this business kind of as an accident. I had 2 kids at the time, couldn't go to the mall ever. I never had time. I had a full-time job. I was looking for places online to shop, but I didn't really know what would fit and how, I was scared to buy online. I just wanted women to be able to feel like they were shopping with their best friend without having to leave their house. I started really small and CommentSold kind of saved us because I was like at a desperate point. I was the only employee at that time, so it's just me. I was exhausted. This was my baby. I wanted it to be perfect, but I also didn't have time to really invest in my family and the business the way I was wanting to. I just was so tuned in to getting all those invoices in. I was wearing it on my shoulders for sure. when Comment Sold came about, I was just like, you know what, I'm going to give them a try. We're just going to see what they can do. The customer service from day one was incredible. It'd be a matter of 5 minutes and they had already responded. I mean, that in itself, I was like, why did we not find them sooner? So we have a website. We now have a mobile app through Comment Sold. All the different platforms just kind of merged together into this one magical spot where I don't have to manage them all separately. That's like gold to me. It's definitely been a game changer. We've doubled our sales revenue from last year to this year, and we've only been with Comment Sold since April. Basically, we have several different platforms. So wherever you are, we make it convenient for you to be able to shop. So you can shop on a mobile app. You can shop on Facebook if you're a fan of social media. You can go directly to our website. And then we just kind of cultivate it all together into this culture where you're just shopping amongst your tribe. Our staff, we do life together. We support each other. It's just something that's intangible. You can't replicate it because it's just special. I can't wait to wake up and it doesn't feel like a job because I get to go hang out with my friends and women that I care about, that I have stuff in common with, and just share life. It started in this little office, the home office. It's just kind of expanded into where it was kind of pouring out into the hallway of the office, right into my entryway. And this was about a year ago. And as of today, we are almost finished with our warehouse. So we'll be moving in there. I hired my first employee last August, and then we quickly went to 2, and now we have 6 and myself, so 7 total. It's really rewarding. I mean, it gives me goosebumps. It's exciting. Like, even just talking about it, you want to be humble, but you're also full. Like, I just have a very full heart, and it's proud. I'm proud of what it's become and hopefully what it will continue to grow into. I just want everybody to be happy and love Paisley Heart. Just being able to make someone feel pretty and then like what they're wearing and know that I had a piece of that. It's pretty cool.
So we love her. She, like I said, she has doubled her sales. But there are plenty of other case studies, and you can go to these companies' Facebook pages and see what their selling processes are, get some good ideas. You can also download their app. A majority of these companies do have our app. Also, just want to point out too, if you go to commentsold.com and you go under use cases, there's different examples. They even have a sports merchandise case study example, and when you click on it, it has Huntsville Havoc. They're a local hockey team that live close to me nearby, and this is their testimonial here. But there's a ton of them on our website too that you can view. But I will go ahead and I guess it's time to go over the frequently asked questions. One frequently asked question that we usually get is, what is the pricing? Which of course, for the applicants, I guess, and you guys may want to get more into this as far as like you get the full year, but Comment Sold regularly, if you go to commentsold.com, it has our monthly plans listed here. We still currently do offer that 30-day free trial period as well. The 2 plans we have, the basic plan is the first plan. It is $49 a month, 5% of comment selling. That includes the option of the Comment Sold web store, automatic invoicing for live selling and still photo posts, Shopify integration, as well as a real-time chat support. This is more of a self-service option. So you don't get, Ben and I's help as well as the IT, which makes a huge difference. The second plan, our business plan, is $149 a month, 3% of sales. With that, you do get for your first 30 days, myself as well as an IT rep. You'll have multiple training calls with us, which does make a huge difference. And then it also includes some mobile app as well.
So what is Coral Gables? Belkis, what are you giving to our businesses? What are we getting?
We have the business plan, which is the extended one, right, Heidi?
Yes. Yep. So you will get pretty much everything that Comment Sold offers with that plan. Yep.
And we get it for a year?
Yes.
For 1 year.
Oh, that's nice. $149. Okay, that's great.
A monthly fee, which is waived because we've purchased the license for that amount. And so, Heidi, I think that the cost to the business owner is that 3% of sales, right?
Yes. Yep. Is that 3% of sales? Yes. And another thing I want to cover too, because a common concern is the, the percentage cost just for any company. I mean, I'm a business owner myself, so when I think of costs, get too much, it will eat into your profit. So one thing I always like to address is most companies on the low end at least see a 20 to 30% sales increase too when they use comments sold. So just something to consider when you're looking at the percentages.
I think that one of the reasons also that this plan was selected is because there was some hands-on, assistance, that there would be a rep assigned to you. We understand that our businesses are really, mom and pop for the majority. And so the owner is physically at their stores trying to sell. And so for that, we understand that time is limited, and we wanted to make sure that we made it as flexible and as easy as possible for them to integrate into this.
Yes, that's great. And they, especially if they need the extra help, it makes a huge difference. I mean, you can compare companies that sign up for the basic versus the business. They always get to that 15 to 30K monthly sales range a lot quicker.
So how many hours are you going to be giving them? So if somebody applies and gets approved, then you start working with them and then you continue, or how is that done?
Yeah, so they'll have me for 60 days. So for pretty much 2 full months, they're gonna have, they have my phone number. Yeah, and I follow up on a weekly basis. And then they'll also have the very first step. So once we'll actually schedule a first basic setup training call. That'll be with myself, where I will walk them through setting up their taxes, their shipping. If they have Shopify, I'll show them how to connect their Shopify. That's generally about a 30 to 45-minute call via Zoom. And then we will schedule for a second call with their onboarding rep, which is that IT rep. And that's when they'll get into, the ins and outs of the system, where they can see, how do I go live? How do I, do still photo posts? How do I get into shipping? All of that. And of course, they'll have multiple training calls with their onboarding rep for the first 30 days. They'll have available to book anytime with them.
Okay, and then again, there was another question, Belkis. I think Olga was asking about how does she take advantage of this offer?
Yep, Olga, so we've posted on the chat, and I'll post it again. There is an application process. It is extremely simple. And the link that I'm going to share with you in the chat also includes information, just more information on Common Sold. So you'll get that, some of the requirements as part of this application process. It's like a grant, basically. And then you fill it out. We make sure that everything is compliant, that you're good, and then we will approve you and move you forward to Heidi and her team.
Okay, and there was another one from Jill. Is the 3% in addition to the credit card processing fee?
Good question. Yes, correct. So you will still have your credit card processing fees from PayPal, Square, and Stripe, whichever one that you choose to do. They are, all three of those, pretty comparable. They're in the 2.7%, 2.9%. So you'll still have those as well. Yes.
That's an addition. So it's basically you're doing the credit card needs still to be processed. So it's not, the 3% is going to your company, not to the credit card.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, great. There any other questions people have? Let them know.
Use the chat or use the Q&A to ask your questions, Heidi. When you have a static post, and we see people, sometimes they include multiple pictures. Are you able to do a comment sold with multiple pictures, as long as, I guess, there's a description of what each item is?
Yes, definitely. So it's as long as those multiple pictures are on the same Facebook post, you can link them back to multiple products. So for example, if you're trying to sell an outfit with a shirt, jeans, jewelry, they would say sold 101 for the top, sold 102 for the jeans, sold 103 for the jewelry piece. Yes.
And then we just want to make sure that everyone is aware that how you talked about the waitlist feature and the emails that are sent to your customers, that information that's collected and the data that is collected behind the scenes is strictly for your business. It is not shared with anyone else, correct?
Yes, that is correct. Yeah, that's all private information that's only shared with the business. It does not go anywhere else. That's a good question.
And then there's a question from Olga saying, what if you sell for a nonprofit?
Good question too. So we have had a few nonprofit organizations that have joined with those, and we offer a discount since you are a nonprofit, where instead of being the $149 a month, it would be $99. And then if you did the basic plan, instead of being $49, it would be $24.99. And of course, the percentage rates would stay the same.
I don't see any more questions here. And you said businesses can start seeing a 20 to 30% increase on average?
Yeah, on average, and this is on the low end, 20 to 30%. Obviously, those case studies that we have, they've doubled and tripled their sales. But on the low end, usually 20 to 30.
And where do you attribute that to? What would you say? Why do people do? Because it's quite a bit. What would you attribute that to, Heidi?
Well, there's so many features that are built into Comment Sold to really help boost engagement. You know, those marketing automation email programs, comment selling in general. I mean, we can't take full credit for that, because with the way algorithms work, the more comments you have, it's going to build. And then we just help companies automate that process. So you don't have to spend so much time manually invoicing with that. We do the invoicing, so you can spend more time personally connecting with your customers, which makes a huge difference when you're trying to sell stuff to it. Makes a huge difference. And then doing more engagement posts, you'll have time to do more posts and sell more things because you're not spending so much time on the manual processes. That's really that's the huge.
Does it also depend on how many times you go live?
Yes, so you want to, and usually the suggestion is at least once a week. Now, Sarah Gibbons and that So Happy, they go live. So Happy goes live usually once or twice a day. Simply Obsessed, that live, she goes live multiple times a day. So she goes like at lunchtime and then twice in the afternoon. But really you want to just, get a good idea of what times and days that your customer base is accustomed to tuning in. And then when you do, make sure that you have a specific day and time, because just like a TV show, I watch Grey's Anatomy and Station 19 on Thursdays. At that specific time, I know to tune in at 6 o'clock Central Time to tune in. Same for a live, so you want to make sure to promote those lives, and so they know when to tune in. That makes a huge difference when it comes to engagement too.
It's a show.
Yep. Yeah.
And I'm used to seeing it in the show rather than just a pop-up. Who knows when she's going to be there?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. I think that's a awesome way in which you can see that you expanded Facebook and got a niche there and added value to it. And I guess in the future, you'll be doing Instagram Live as well. Is that your plan?
That's our goal. Yes, Instagram Live. And there's so many other goals. There's so many social media platforms like TikTok and YouTube. It's
right.
Yeah.
But is that what would be your next feature you think you would, or you don't know?
So, yeah, me and Ben usually, Ben can talk to this too. We usually know about like a couple weeks before it's released.
Right. They don't want to let
like,
you know that you'll be telling your customers and they say, where is it already? Where is it? Right. So they want to keep you in suspense on that. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. It's great. And I thank Coral Gables too for giving that opportunity to see what's available. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
And also, so we did have a hand go up. It is from Liz Ferrer. I wondered if she could either unmute her mic or just let us know in the chat if there's anything we can help her with. Liz? I think she can.
I've seen that. I've seen her hand up for a long time, so it may have been a while back. You had that question.
It might be a mistake, but I just want to give her the opportunity.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
If she wants to, Liz, you can definitely unmute your mic and chime in. So in the meantime, thank you, Heidi, and thank you, Ben. Honestly, it makes you want to start your own business. Literally, you see things like this because it's really exciting, and I think it's gonna be a game changer for our businesses. Again, we have a limited supply. We were only able to purchase a few of these, and so we really want to make sure that our retail businesses take advantage of this.
It's also looking for the best fit too. It's just not taking advantage, but what they're selling, how that's going to work out. Perfect. Okay, so can I just do something? Can you bring up that next slide? Then maybe we can
Absolutely. I think, do we have another poll, Alex? I'm not sure if we have one more poll.
Alex.
I believe we do. I'm not sure. And actually, maybe I can do this myself.
Wow. You know, he won't have a job anymore. Be careful.
Yes, okay, so it's up already. We just wanted to know how many are selling online. This is very similar to what you, the information you provided beforehand. We want to know if you are selling.
Yeah,
Yes.
but in percentage wise, how many are now, if you don't mind answering, how many of you now are selling online?
Exactly. And just a point of reference or just information, we are recording this. And so the important thing here is if you missed anything or there was a really good tidbit that you missed, not to worry. We are going to make this available on our webpage, and we'll also email you a link as soon as we get this processed, and everyone who applied, who registered for this workshop.
So that's great. So 100% are selling online. So we are really knowing that. Okay. So I have also, if you don't mind, Renee, are you there? Can you, in the chat?
I see a Renee.
Yeah.
Lopez?
Yes. Is she here? Sometimes when people sign in, I don't know.
Renee Lopez Cantera.
Right.
Hold on one second. I've asked to unmute.
Yeah, maybe unmute, or even you can.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you bring her, Alex? Can you bring her online? I mean, on the panel?
She is.
You can see me?
No, but we can hear you. How are you, Renee?
We can see, if you show your picture, we can see. If you show your camera, we can see you. If not, we can just hear you.
Okay. I'm in the middle of a move, so maybe it's
okay.
better.
That's fine. That's fine. We can. Renee, I just wanted to tell you, to introduce the panel to you. Renee was a student of mine. What year, Renee?
Oh, at least I think I graduated in 1998.
Can you imagine? And Renee, this was in the very beginning of the internet when people were saying, they didn't even think they can sell anything. So Renee really, she won, what was it? She won the award at the School of Business. And she started, what was it called? Gift baskets? What was it?
It was a gift basket company called basketcase.com, pretty memorable name. And I had a store in Coconut Grove. So it was like online and offline. And that was how I learned digital marketing, because we didn't get to learn it as in the MBA program, because there wasn't much digital marketing at the time.
Right, and we've become, it's the beginning of there, and then afterwards, so many years later, we met at a number of conferences. I've had Renee come to a number of my webinars, seminars, workshops as well. As a matter of fact, when we had women in tech, you remember, Raimundo, when you guys were there in Fort Lauderdale, Renee was one of our guest speakers there, and a number of ones. So Renee, do you want to talk about a little bit maybe on what you're doing, and give kind of like tidbits to
Sure, I'd love to.
the group on how we can approach this and social marketing? And maybe what I was talking to Renee about is inviting her and maybe some of her case studies, bringing some of her case studies she's been working on with a number of professionals in physicians and a number of other people that are doing it. I think it makes it much more interesting to have case studies. What's working for businesses? What do they need? How do they work? So if you can share with us a little bit.
Sure, definitely. So, well, thanks for the great introduction. It's interesting because I had known Valkis from before as well. And just working in the local community, I work at a digital marketing firm that we specialize in helping ad agencies and some direct clients, because we do a lot of the technical implementations beyond just the regular content of social media, more paid ads, some Google search, and something called programmatic, which is not everyone's as familiar with it, but we've all kind of been marketed to that way. let's say, for example, you're looking for a pair of shoes or you're looking for an airline ticket, and then all of a sudden they keep targeting you again, and you're thinking, how did they know I was interested in this? Sometimes it gets more granular from an audience perspective. Say you have a new pet out of the blue, and you start getting materials either sent to your home in form of direct mail or online, and you say, how do they know I'm interested in that? Well, not to be Big Brother, but with all the data and what we buy on our credit cards and what we search online, these companies know a little bit more about, and it actually helps because then the ads are more targeted, and in the end you can actually purchase things that make sense, and the companies like the jewelers of today or other companies can actually sell better products. It's interesting that a lot of people on the line have professional service companies because on the B2B side, there's lots of room for digital marketing as well. For example, some of our clients are real estate agents that have big listings, some in the Gables actually, and some are commercial real estate or even attorneys, and maybe we'll have a case study on the third seminar about one of the plastic surgeons that recently moved offices to the area. They're booked all the way through Q4.
And they're doing record. And what are they doing with social media?
Well, with social media, they have something really cool, and you'll hear more in a bit, but they actually sometimes record some of the surgeries live. It seems a little different, but I guess it gives people a sense of calm knowing that, it's not such a big deal, or that the surgeon is double certified. And then they do regular marketing ads, geo-fencing the area, targeting people who have looked up surgeries in the past. You could also load your list into social media. There's a lot of tricks that can really help refine your audience. So that's where we focus.
Yeah, and Renee, that's what I'd like to do. Maybe on the third session with you is to, we'll pick out a good case study and then have like a list, I think, of the tips and tricks and basically what you recommend of their sites, what apps they should get.
Sure. And I don't, a lot of the consulting or the brainstorming, which is like individual, I know we probably have a lot of people on the line, but maybe we can take one or two of the people and just kind of hear what they're looking to do. And
that's exactly, I was telling you, know me well, Renee. That's the way I like to work, is that basically, you've known me too well, is that's basically, why not help somebody now rather than in theory, and giving them 40 different slides, but almost take them and do a makeover, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but if
before and after, but it's that idea of brainstorming with somebody. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, we can. It's almost like not a Shark Tank, because we're not.
No, but it's helpful. You know what I mean? You can see it, and then it generates, and then other people can say what is in common, because we all basically need to do what we have to sell. People that we don't know or our current customers, we have to give them what they need further and create that relationship. And that's what I was delighted to hear from Jill, is it's trust.
Yes, and
so it's trust when I go in and go into a store, but it's even more trust if I have to buy online and I don't even know the person.
Yeah, and imagine like when we do the case study, a doctor's office, and you haven't even met the doctor in person. You have to do a Zoom because of, during COVID times. But, it's very interesting, the transformation. It's happening even quicker now. So it's very timely.
Yeah, it accelerated to 10 degrees. Okay, Renee, so I'm glad that you within your move and everything, that you're able to join us at least today. And I look forward to speaking with you, and we'll do some run through, and then maybe we'll get feedback from the other participants today. They can give us some ideas as well. That's
perfect.
And then what I wanted to do, Renee, is even to spotlight other companies that are here. So thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Take care.
Always. Thank you for your support, Renee. Small world, huh, Belkis?
It is a small world.
Yeah, well, here. And then the other, a couple of others, it's almost like shout outs, right? But I want to make sure that that I have. Avner, are you here? And maybe if he could just come aboard just for a minute or so. I don't know if he is. If we can unmic him or put him on a panel.
Hi there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you well. Avner, I just wanted to tell you, he was a student of mine. Well, what did you do for your project, Avner? You want to tell people what you did in the past?
Sure. So for my project, we did, me and my group did social media marketing for small and medium-sized businesses. We combined it with courses that companies can elect to take so that they can improve their own marketing if they didn't want to hire or outsource the marketing. So we kind of combined it, made it, two-faceted so that we could differentiate ourselves. And yeah, it was a really interesting project. Learned a lot about how to build a website and what to consider when we want to differentiate our business from, a very saturated market.
So Avner, since he was such a good student and he was also so interested, I asked him if he wanted to be my teaching assistant. So now in our classes, we're able, in his semester, when he was my student, we had to quickly move over to Zoom, right? Because the university was closed and he was able to adapt. And then I hired him to be my teaching assistant. And we have other people just even helping me with getting online with Zoom, with chat, with recording, make sure to let me know that I'm using live transcript, right? To being able to follow up, do breakout rooms where you can be in certain ways. So he's become, I think, quite an expert in even dealing with other people, dealing with teams. And we are considering even having a group of our students, our best students, be interns and helping some of these companies. So later on, if we find a good match, Avner was volunteering to help me on that as well. So I just wanted everyone to meet Avner as well. So thank you, Avner. I appreciate you coming as well.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be a part of the team.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, that's it for me on that end. So can we get back? Let me get my video. I don't know why my video is here.
To show his website.
Okay. So great. So let's. So any other comments? Pardon?
Well, we can, I think, hold on one second. Let me look at Liz. I think Liz has unmuted herself. Liz, did you had your hands up? I was just wondering if you had anything to say. You had your hand up for a little bit. Is she unmuted? No, she's muted again. Okay, so Dr. Rushanek, if you'd like, I can put up the next slide.
Yeah, put up the next slide, please.
Okay. One second. How do I get this full screen again? I've done this 3 times already and I still can't get it right. Isn't that nice?
We're used to it. It makes it nice. It makes it homely. It doesn't, how they want to make it look like it's spontaneous. This looks like we didn't rehearse it. That's what I like.
Let's see.
Okay.
Are you guys seeing it?
Yeah. Next workshops, right?
All right. Yeah. So the next workshops, our next workshop is also on a Friday, April 9th. So we're taking a break, making sure you give us all your comments this week and next week. And then April 9th from 3 to 5, we are back with more Dr. Rushanek and more topics and information. If you have any questions about Common Soul, please definitely also include those. Part 3 will take place on April 16th from 3 to 5. Those are the links that you see there. However, I'm going to drop them also in the chat, so you don't have to be taking it down. I know that you can't click your screen right now. And then if you have any comments or suggestions, you can email Dr. Sarah Rushanek, and that's her email address. It's s.rushanek@miami.edu.
Okay, great. Anything else? For a Friday afternoon, I think we outdid ourselves. So I want to thank everyone, really. Comment sold. I think we made it, huh? And I love the idea that you shared your screen so it became live. And thank you, Belkis, for allowing Coral Gables to be educated. One of the things I wanted to emphasize is that digital literacy, right? That this is no longer just for our tech people. Tech is here everywhere. I don't care what profession. I don't care if you're an artist. I don't care if you're an administrator. I don't care if you're an athlete. It doesn't matter. Tech is here and we need to be educated on it. So this is a way in which we'll proceed.
Let me just make a comment for all the businesses. Always make an effort, please, to provide digital literacy to your workforce, to the frontline workers, and to everybody that is part of your team that is serving the customer. It is very important. So small businesses, they employ almost 70% of the workforce. So anything that you do to help to educate your workforce in digital literacy is going to really help you. It's going to help your business. It's going to help your customer to get a better service, but it's going to help also our community at all.
And I wanted to emphasize, if you want us to make a case study, just like Renee was saying, that if you want to be a case study either can be what you're doing right and you're online and you want to showcase that. And number two, even if you haven't proceeded, and the way to show this is what I have and how can I do improvements, we can look at that as well. So contact me if you want to be one of our spotlighted showcases as well, because that's what I want to make this, is in helping businesses grow. So feel free to do that. Otherwise, thank you very much.
Yep, thank you to the panelists. Heidi and Ben, thank you so much for giving your insight and information. I really hope that was beneficial for well done explaining common sold. And we hope you take advantage of this. So please, we put the link in our chat so you can get more information and also fill out the application. Again, I'm gonna we have very few licenses, and so we want to make sure that we take advantage. We don't want to keep any licenses. We want to give them all out. Okay, so we really appreciate if you would just look at it, see what you think. If you have any questions, just let us know either at business@coralgables.com or email Dr. Rushanek, and we'll get back to you and make sure we get you.
And also, you may want to think about sharing this with other businesses that you know. So even if it's not for you, you may want to make that, I think the recording, they can share the recording with others. And also if there's other businesses that you may not be in that stage, that you can share that as well.
Yeah, that's a great idea. If you don't think this is for you, but you know of a business that would help, that would benefit from this, absolutely.
I would like to give a shout out to our senior IT analyst, Alex Gamundi, behind the scene, helping with everything.
Behind the seal.
behind the seal. And Alex, thank you for all your help and all the technical projects and all your technical ways, and that I'm always throwing something at you at the end. Alex, do a poll. Alex, make sure that you do live transcript, and he's hopping into it. So thank you. Appreciate it.
That guys,
our pleasure.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
We appreciate it. Have a great weekend, and we'll definitely send you the recording as soon as we've got it. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Good job, Doc.
Good job. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure as always. Thank you very much for everything, okay? Have a great weekend.
Okay. See you later. Thanks so much.
Yes, ma'am.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So now we're going to stop this Zoom recording and play it back. Using double speed.
What does that mean? Bringing all this academic data and getting it to the consumer and trying out software, trying out hardware, trying to find out new techniques, and we'll be doing the demo lab. My goal today is to find out who do we have in our audience and how can we help everyone. And I see it as a continuum for a sense of a community. I try to do that in everything that I do, that we really can learn from one another. And this is the key. They asked me to set up a
Why not?
because it expires.
Oh, it expired and it didn't continue that. Try to get more involvement. You know what I mean?
We got plenty of involvement. I brought Renee in. Did you see that?
I saw it.
Huh? I wanted to show her face.
Fine, okay. It's all
What?
optional.
It's all optional. I want to show your face now. She went to attend because she was upset. I told her I don't have time for her the first week, you know? She's already saying I'm coming the third week.
Third week already?
What? What do you mean? I do 3 sessions. She's gonna come the third session with the plastic surgeon's wife.
Fine. Good idea.
What?
Good idea, so.
I wanted to divide it up too. You know I had the comment.
Yes.
Did you see? I brought the one with the 2 people there. How'd it go?
Fine. Let me finish it here. I'm still
Confused.
not confused, but busy.
Oh, at 5 o'clock they stopped and they ran away, all of them. You know
Fine,
what I mean?
so you finished early, you gave him a chance to
5 minutes. But they
run away quickly.
They ran away right on time. You know what I mean? They're like on the clock. You understand?
Yes. So now we made the
presentation, the workshops for 6 hours. And from experience, nobody wants to sit in a Zoom session for 6 hours. I guarantee you. Even I don't want to do it. So I've broken it up to 3 sessions. The reason I broke it up to 3 sessions is nobody wants to stay on a Friday afternoon for 6 hours. Number 2 is that after the first 2 hours, after the first session, I can get to know and our group can get to know what are your real needs. It's about you, not about us. I don't want to give you 1,000 PowerPoints. That's not my goal in this session. My goal is to find out what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and where do we need help, and how can we help each other. So that's how I want to look at this. And part of the case studies is we'll have Heidi and her group and comments. What I told her is we'll have a conversation. I don't want it to be as if when you have questions, put it in the chat or even raise your hand and ask to be unmiked. So I think this would be of interest. And then later on, we're spotlighting Heidi and her group of comments. So in our future sessions, what I'd like to do is spotlight some of our Coral Gables companies. Already, I've worked, for instance, in professional services. For instance, plastic surgery, where before you thought, hey, the plastic surgeon isn't around. We'll have it later on where the plastic surgeon basically is using Facebook Live or using YouTube Live or Snapchat and showing his or her surgeries. So, and what actually works in terms of service and how can you do it? And everybody's online, so how can you gain traction? So that's what I wanted to do. So maybe in this case, I wanted to thank Belkis. She's been doing a fabulous job in trying to promote this. It's really been well. I want to do shout outs and Raimundo, who's basically he's super, I think, IT director and innovation. And I always have these crazy ideas and say, why don't you try this and why don't you try this? And guess what he does? He goes, okay, let's do a demo lab. Okay, let's go out and look at these new companies. So it's always been a pleasure, Raimundo, to work with your group. I've done even ways in which even IT can run it more efficiently but there has to be a connection. Who hasn't had problems with Wi-Fi this time, right? Who hasn't had problems with Zoom not working? Who hasn't had problems all the time? And I'm the first one to tell you I have so many problems. My students, I even invited them here. I have even shout outs to my teaching assistants that I couldn't do it without them. So it really has to be a group affair here. It has to be a group project, and that's what I wanted to emphasize. So if Raimundo and Belkis, if you have anything else to add, I'll continue. Raimundo, do you have anything that you'd like to state or?
Thank you, Dr. Rosene, for your partnership and for your trust in our city, in our team, and for helping our community, during these challenging times. So thank you so much.
Okay, great. And Raimundo is what later on I'll have Raimundo possibly talk about what are the things in smart city and how we can think about what are smart devices. We think about something called IoT, right? Internet of Things. We have it all the time. We have it in our cameras at home. We have it in our Alexa. We have it in so many in our cars. And the idea here is Raimundo and I were talking about it. We want to make the city smart in the way in which businesses can be more effective and also be good for our citizens as well. So thank you so much for that. So can I get a first poll maybe? Alex is always behind the scenes. I always count on Alex. What is Alex like, Mikey? Alex, can we have the first slide? Okay, you guys all see this? I almost want to say here, it's almost like I'm used to saying it in my class. I'm there, do you see it? So it's almost like the same thing. Belkis, do you see it here? So I have it. So my first question is getting to know who's in the audience. I want it to be about you, not about what I think you need. And then later on, we can tailor it, basically workshop 2 and workshop 3 for it. So my first question to you is, what, if you have a business now, and you can put that, what type of business do you own or represent? Is it retail? Is it professional services? Is it consulting? Is it is your business entirely online or another? So do we have time to, Alex? So I guess they'll take it now. But I was going to say quiz. You're not going to be graded, guys.
Your professor is getting on.
Right, and attendance isn't required. That's all I get, right? You miss my attendance and it doesn't count. Is it going to be on the test?
That's interesting. We have so far there's 5 people or 45% that have said professional services. That's interesting too.
Okay, it'd be interesting to see who are in the professional services. So can you put in the chat or raise your hand if you're in professional service? What type, or maybe write in the chat, what type of professional services are you? In terms of the chat, are we talking about so healthcare and so the panel is that JI? Who is that? What type of healthcare? Can we do you mind unmiking yourself, Alex?
We want to see whether the MSN recorder was working fine. We are testing it, and we are recording the test. This video called myvideos.mpeg. We'll see how it works. See that it works okay. Set it at the subscript O. Right mouse click and copy to right.
Innovative techniques. I've worked with the city of Coral Gables with their IT guru. We've done a number of different projects together. We're now going to do something called the demo. An innovation director. We're setting up an innovation lab. What does that mean? Bringing all this academic data and getting it to the consumer and trying out software, trying out hardware, trying to find out new techniques, and we'll be doing demo. My goal today I try to do that in everything that I do, that we really can learn from one another. And this is the key. They asked me to set up a presentation workshops for 6 hours.
But the audio is working quite well, so we are going to stop it now. The Loom was working pretty well, so we are going to stop it. And now we're looking to see whether I can find my Zoom here. Do that. So, let's have that. I'm going to send the portal working here in the corner. The last one was subscript O. I'm going to post it on YouTube. Now, we won't tell in the meeting, so let's open it out and start closing some of the applications here. So first of all, I want to stop the sharing. Don't want to share anymore. Maybe share the full screen. So next thing we want to do is I want to stop the recording. So let's see if we can find where the recording is. Okay, so I want to stop the recording. Stop the recording now. Yes, I want to stop the recording. What else do we have going here? So let's copy the streaming link. Streaming link has been copied to clipboard, which means that we can start pasting the streaming link. So one streaming link pasted. I want to paste it in my Word document. Then I want to paste it in my spreadsheet. The streaming link. Find it in my notepad and also on my pop-up. So here's the streaming link, the pop-up, and the streaming link on the notepad. So finally, what else remains to be done? Let's go to live. Live. Stop live stream. So we're going to stop the live stream. Let's minimize first all these. See the live stream. The live stream is still going on. Pull up the menu.